Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're back on the big block Chevy F100. Today we're working on the fuel cell in the back. We've already gone ahead and got the box up and the fuel tank out. We're going to drill the holes and get the fuel system ran. Stay tuned. So we went ahead and removed the fuel tank back out of the back of the truck here. I'm going to go ahead and straighten up this cut mark here on this side. Cut that with the cutoff wheel. It was rubbing on the tank just a bit. And then we'll get the tank lifted up on the bottom side of the rail here, so that way we can mark all the holes, get those drilled, and have this mounted in there. Okay, we went ahead and got the fuel tank all bolted in here. There's 3 bolts down this side, as you can see, drilled those, and 2 bolts down the passenger side. So went ahead and got those drilled, mounted in. We'll also put the rear cross member at the very back here and incorporate some of the bolt holes across the back section. The tank part number, in case anyone is wondering, is MU-2HT. It's a 22-gallon tank based on a Ford Mustang. It comes from Tanks Incorporated in Monticello, Iowa. And also the fuel sending unit that we're using in here, they make several different ones, is a TAN-GML. It is a 0 to 90 ohm, which is similar to a GM from 65 and up. And also, since we're doing EFI here, we went ahead and purchased the blank plates, which came with both. And we're going to drill and tap those and put bulkhead fittings for AN. That part number is SBO. So in case anyone wondering, there's part numbers for that. So next step's going to be making a bracket for the fuel pump, probably up under the cab area in front of all the 4-link brackets. And then we can maybe see about some fuel lines. Okay, so for these bulkhead fittings, let's go ahead and measure it up here so we know exactly what we're drilling for. Or roughly anyways. Looks like it's going to be 3/4. So we'll go with 3/4 bit on this, and then we will need an O-ring, and then I have the nut in the box up in the back of the truck. We'll need 2 of these on the plate here, like I said, for feed and return. So I want to try and get those somewhat, maybe not in the center line, maybe slightly back off. We'll see how that works. So I do have a center position for the breather. So let's get this marked out on here. And then I don't have a bench anymore, so we'll just have to take the drill press, which is sitting over there by the saw. We'll just put it in the middle of the floor and just use it that way, and we'll clamp it down on there. So we'll make that work for now, but definitely need to look at putting a bench somewhere in here going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and actually use this breather piece, because this hex on here is actually 1 inch in diameter. And that's exactly what this is here. So just going to figure out a placement on here. We'll trace around it, make sure everything looks good. And we'll go ahead and mark a center point and drill this out. Okay, so I just went ahead and sketched 2 circles on there. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up. Kind of bumped them to the lower section a little bit without trying to get too close to this. I mean, again, keep in mind, it's only a 3/4 hole we're drilling. But I got to also be able to get that screw in there. So then I also need to get a vent in there, which this is probably only 3/8 or 1/4. Looks like 3/8 barb. So it's not going to take much of a hole there for that breather. So let's go ahead and actually hop over to the drill press, drag that out, and drill it. I did grab a 3/4 bit here, and let's drill those holes. Okay, so went ahead, the holes, I don't know, it was just bouncing around a little bit on the drill press over there, so the holes kind of got a little screwed up, which I would have took it over to my brother's shop, but that was unavailable. So got those cleaned up, took the flap wheel and just cleaned around that edge so the mating surface is truly flat. So now we can fit our fittings in. I'll get the other one down, we'll get some O-rings on there and the nuts down, so that way we can actually screw these in. I just want to make sure I got enough clearance between my 90-degree fitting for the fuel lines, or if I need to get 90-degree bulkhead fittings for these, which still will go in the same on the bottom side, just be mated into a 90 on top. So let's go ahead and at least get the nuts on there for now. We'll throw an O-ring on, I guess, and then throw it back on the fuel cell, drop the tank or the box down onto the tank and see what we got. All right, so for now I went ahead and installed just one of the bulkhead fittings. Just in case it doesn't work, there's no point in installing both of those. And I can see now we're already going to have a problem. We have a clearance issue with the fuel cell and putting that too close to it. So we'll have to figure something out there. Okay, not that it's going to hurt anything. I went ahead and just ground off a little of the hex nut here. So now we should be able to test it without that. Yep, we're perfect there. So let's go ahead and reinstall this. We'll grab a fitting for the top and lower the box down and give it a shot, see what happens. Either we're going to have a clearance issue or it should be fine. Like I said, not a big deal, can always fix it. So let's get on to it. Alright, so we went ahead, lowered the box down. Let me grab a light real quick. And I believe we can get a shot under here. Where are we at? We're right back in here. So it doesn't look like we're having a clearance issue. There is some room in there, but I think just to be safe, I'm going to order the 90-degree bulkhead fittings just for that extra protection, because if the bed floor was to move at all in that area, not that I plan to haul anything, but if I was to, I don't think the bed floor would flex, but just a safety precaution. It's going to cut down on a lot of that. They may make a sharper 90-degree elbow, but you know what? Then I can just run a straight fitting off of that 90-degree bulkhead and just call it a day. So we'll order those and switch that over, and I guess at this point, let's continue on and see about maybe mounting that fuel pump. All right, guys, it's been a couple days now since I've been out in the shop actually working on the truck. What I've done in the meantime to get away from the fuel system, since I'm waiting on fittings for that, I went ahead and actually welded in the inside of this for the actual wheel tub. So that is all welded on the inside. I'll have to do something to close up this gap, maybe put a piece of steel on the inside. The inside of this wheel tub will need welded in. Some of it needs straightened out from when the previous person cut it out. The biggest thing that sucks is they cut it with a torch and took out quite a bit of material, so we're gonna have to fill that gap in. But anyways, back to this. So went ahead and got that welded in on the inside, all down there. Well, there's a couple pinholes, but I'm not worried about that. Went ahead and actually cut this maybe 16 gauge steel to the correct width, and I made it go approximately halfway. That rod is welded in there to keep this distance between here. So what I want to do is actually go on the inside and lay this, stand this upright in here and tack it, and then see if we can just keep tacking our way up, bending that over and make our way halfway up it. And we'll do the same thing from the other side, up and back, and that way we can make this look like a factory wheel tub, hopefully. So let's get started. All right, so the first half of the wheel tub is in. As you can see, we went ahead and tacked it to the bottom here. Didn't get much GoPro footage, if any at all, because I was pretty much in the way trying to shoot the shots for this underneath of the bed. But you can see there, we ended up halfway up the truck bed. We just need to get another piece and start down here, work our way up, butt weld that together, and we can finish stitching the rest of this in here. That'll be for a later video because we have to start the whole other half of the process by cutting this wheel tub section in half. I did that, I believe, with the cutoff wheel. We need to cut the other one in half, get it tacked in there, stitched on the inside of the bed and to the outside. I mean, there's a lot of welding that has to be done on this one yet. Also went ahead and made up a fuel pump bracket here. This is just an L-shaped bracket coming down. There's 4 bolts in the bottom of the pump. Got those all put in, just welded it to an L shape here. This will go on the inside of the driver's frame down underneath the driver's compartment. Also grab some material that I just need to make up something for down here across the back of the fuel tank. Just because removing that rear cross member there, I would like to get something back in here just to add a little bit of extra support in there. And that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Please comment down below if you guys enjoy seeing the footage of me through a time lapse. I didn't really get a lot in this video, but if you enjoy seeing some of that stuff, drop a comment below and let me know that. Or if it's too much, you can also let me know that way as well. We want to keep this project going. We've got the Dominator mounted, the MSD-10 Plus. Once we get fuel fittings, we'll be able to run the fuel system and temporarily put things together so we can fire this baby up, because I want to hear it run so we can get some more motivation to keep going on this project. We got a lot of things coming, a lot of things that got to go yet, but we're going to wrap it there. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and again, comment down below. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video.